Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our second time guest, Tony James. We're here to break down Star Noir Book 1 and 2, which is going live, you said tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yep, 11 a.m.
So we are getting pretty much an exclusive look at not only a little bit of the story, but the cover and some interiors too. So thank you so much for that opportunity. Tony, how are you doing today?
I'm great. It was rainy for 5 days in New York City with a lot of flooding, and now it's back to being hot and humid again.
Yeah, and that rain, like when it's continuous like that, it just puts you, it makes me feel like I'm in a slump almost. Like just, it's gloomy. I mean, 1 or 2 days of it, you can sit back and be lazy, but like any longer, it's like, let me see that sun, please. We're about to hit winter soon.
Yeah, I can't. That's my girlfriend likes to put up the Christmas lights during the winter months because it cheers up the whole place.
Mm-hmm. So Tony, we were talking backstage, probably over a year since you last been on. Successfully funded book 1. Congratulations on that. I had the opportunity to read the book in its entirety, and this is one hell of a ride. For anyone who is coming onto the show for the first time, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what Star Noir is?
I'm Tony James. I'm a writer based here in Queens, New York. And Star Noir is a 6-part detective story. It's a murder mystery about Detective Alan Miller, very cynical 1940s homicide detective, who is forced to team up with a gray alien named Ellis Tate, E.T. for short. And they are trying to stop a shapeshifter who is killing Alan's fellow officers in Central Station. And the twist to that is that the shapeshifter is one of Alan's colleagues.
I love it. And I mean, the first book, I don't know how much of it you want to talk. We'll avoid spoilers, but the shapeshifter has a knack for ripping the heart out of people, like literally, not even emotionally, just. And it's very graphic, very gruesome. I loved it. Why make that direction? Why go for the heart?
Well, there's a good story reason for why the character does that. I think we get into that in the third book. Why specifically the heart? But yeah, it's the kind of the calling card of the killer. It's the same. It's the thing that happens to everybody who dies in this book. Like the same thing kind of happens to them.
And I mean, set in the 1940s, it's like so on point with the interiors. It's like just taking a stroll back in memory lane. How much research went into this? It just looks like there was a lot of time spent, just researching stuff outside of writing and creating.
Oh yeah, I mean there was definitely at least a couple of months of just researching, not just trying to kind of get the lingo down of phrases used at the time, but just looking at all of the architecture from 1940s Los Angeles. And then since Google Images only really takes you so far, to fill in the gaps, we actually used screenshots from LA Noir, like just driving into locations in the video game and then screenshotting that and having the art team kind of like work from those when like the real images just couldn't get the right angle for them.
I remember our last interview, we were gushing over LA Noir, like just the game in general, how good it was. What are some of the other influences? I know, LA Noirs and X-Files were mentioned, but was there anything else that you kind of drew from or anything that kind of like struck the fire for you?
A lot of the kind of gritty 1940s noir stories, like The Big Nowhere. It's from the same writer of LA Confidential. It's part of the same series. And then a lot of the noir films from the 40s. I was just watching one called Detour, which is a pretty crazy one about a guy who he's hitchhiking to see his girlfriend in Los Angeles, and then some drunk guy that he lets drive his car falls out of the car and hits his head on the rock and dies, and the guy's like, well, I don't want the cops to think that I killed him, so I'm just gonna take his car and assume his identity, and you're just watching him try to outrun the police the entire movie.
And that would be such a finicky situation as well, but Alan's in just as much. I mean, like you were explaining him, he's like a straight to the point guy, and meets an alien, like that would be such a crazy experience. What was some of the influences you drew from for his character?
Well, his character, the voice, a lot of it was like a mixture of like Humphrey Bogart and Cary Grant. His look, we actually started with Tom Hardy. That was that
Okay.
was that was kind of the initial inspiration. And like Ellis's human form, we started with Tom Holland. So we were doing a little Venom Spider-Man going on. Because I just think it really kind of works with their dynamic, with Alan being very the cynical, callous type, and Ellis just being much more lighthearted,
Mm-hmm.
and more tactical. Like more, he uses his intelligence a lot more.
And their initial introduction to one another, and everything outside of that, just, I mean, what all went into that research? It just feels like you really took the alien vibe and made it as much of a realistic, feeling as possible. Aliens are real too, by the way. I mean, since you've last been on, it's been confirmed by the government, so that's crazy in itself. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, what type of research and everything went into Ellis and his character?
A lot of a lot of how all of the aliens, not just Ellis, but the other aliens that we see in the story, they're inspired by alien abduction stories. The way that Ellis's his alien ship, the humming that it makes when it
Mhm.
appears, the frost that it creates in Alan's backyard when it lands. A lot of these are things that people would mention in their alien abduction encounter stories. That they describe the sound of the ship as a bunch of those like tuning forks that you use for music.
Mhm.
And they said it sounds like 1,000 tuning forks going off at the same time. So just trying to like recreate that idea.
That would be such a crazy feeling. What's your thoughts though on aliens being real? I mean, that has to be awesome in a book where you write about an alien.
Yeah, I mean, I'll believe it when they touch down on the White House lawn. So I remain a little bit skeptical, because the information's been out there for so long, and now
Mhm.
the government's trying to be like, oh yeah, they're real, and you're like, well, why now?
Yeah, why are
Why
you
is it?
telling us now? Like, what's really going on?
Yeah. So, well, but if, when they're walking through Times Square, I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, I guess they're here.
So for everyone that is watching, we're here to talk about Star Noir Book 2. But before we do that, we're going to paint the picture for you. Right here is a link to the pre-launch. This is going live tomorrow. So feel free to hit it up. Hit that link. It's free to sign up. It's free to promote that on Facebook and Twitter. Word of mouth costs you nothing to do. And we're going to be taking a look at some of the tiers so you'll get a good idea at what you're backing as well. Let's talk a little bit about the creative team for book 1 and book 2. Are you having, this same creative team come
Yeah.
over, or?
Yeah,
So,
same one. I think we took like maybe it felt like maybe like a 2-week break before, just so I could kind of get all the books shipped out.
mhm.
But yeah, we just kind of jumped right back into it. I mean, as I mentioned last time I was here, that all of these scripts are fully written and fleshed out. Like there's a full vision to this story already. So it really is easy for the art team to just pick up where they left off, which is what they did. I got to shout out Pablo Debonis. He is the artist. He is from Argentina. He is amazing. What I love about working with him is that our visions for this world seem to be on the same wavelength.
Mhm.
I pitch him a vibe for an alien attack or an alien encounter, and I tell him about how creepy I want it to feel, how I want it to kind of maintain a sense of believability. And he takes the references I give him, and he really kind of comes up with something that's very close to what I had originally envisioned.
Is he also the colorist as well?
No, that is the colorist is Vinicius Townsend. He is from Brazil. He has done some cover work for IDW.
Mhm.
And what he brought was a very vintage look to
Yeah.
the 1940s world, which I think really complements Pablo's art style as well. So it's been really exciting to watch these guys. And then I gotta mention Marco Ventura, the letterer
Mhm.
from Italy, who makes my words look good. He makes me look good as a writer. Yeah, and I just love the way that he kind of experiments with his letters. I mean, even just the way the the O's kind of snake across the screen for the alien spaceship sound effect, the tuning fork sound that I was mentioning. Yeah, I just love these three working together, and we're very tight knit. We're all very excited to work on this.
Yeah, it seems like you all are really like fine-tuned to the vision. I mean, when I read it, I definitely had the 1940s vibe, and the artist and the colorist in combination just really, knocked it out of the park, I felt. So with book 1 being roughly, 42 pages, how many pages are we looking at for book 2?
Book 2 is like 46 pages.
Okay, got a couple extra pages, not bad.
Yeah, it's just there's more stuff going on in book 2, and it was just tough to keep it to 42.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I need to give the story a little breathing room, so it'll be 46.
So, we had the introduction to Alan and to Ellis, and an idea of what's going on. We started the breadcrumbs for the plot. What can we expect in book 2? Like, where's this story going to take us?
Well, book 2, we're really going to see Alan have to come to grips with the aliens that exist. When in the first half, he is still trying to be a little bit cynical that maybe that this is just some bad dream or is just a result of his haggard habits. But when he meets a character named Stella Belafonte, he gets some direct, hard evidence that aliens are real, and he is forced to kind of follow this alien lead when it comes to the killer. And then meanwhile, the shapeshifter is hunting the other members of Central Station, in particular, Detective Ray Foster, who is the partner of Patrick Perkins, who was killed in the first book.
And that is another interesting thing, that the shapeshifter is only really going after the officers. I mean, it feels like there's so much to the story to explore, and we're only in the first third of it. So let's go ahead. We're going to get an exclusive look at the Kickstarter. Thank you once again for providing us that opportunity. Let's go ahead and pull it up and check it out and see what all the hype is going to be about. So give me 1 second. We're going to go ahead and switch over here. And, I took a step back from interviewing for a hot second. And I'll say this is the first time I've had like such a clean transition to the Kickstarter campaign. Usually it's like a nightmare because I gotta I run OBS, so I have to drag it out and stretch it out and everything. Hold on, I added the pre-launch. Of course I would say that and drop the ball. Here we go. We are looking at Star Noir Book 2, a 1940s detective teams up with a gray alien to stop a shapeshifter killing LAPD officers in Central Station. A $10,000 goal with 44-day campaign. Do you want to check out this video?
Technically, it's 45 days, but the preview thing says 44 for whatever reason.
I got you. 45 days, not bad. Do you want to watch the video or?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So again, you might not hear the audio on your end, but we'll be able to hear it loud and clear on ours.
Welcome back, readers. When we last left Los Angeles, Alan Miller, our ex-detective, had nightmares about strange beings. He was tasked with finding out who killed Detective Patrick Perkins, a man whose heart had been removed. With no leads, Miller had a run-in with a UFO, who informed him that a shapeshifter knocked off Perkins. The kicker? The monster also hides within Central Police Station, alongside Alan's fellow officers. Alan deemed his experience utterly bonkers, until he found the UFO he encountered yapping to the captain. The detective barged in to let the alien have it, but instead found Ellis Tate, his new partner. The stage is set. The hard-nosed detective and the eager rookie set off to find their elusive killer. In our next chapter, the two traverse 1940s Los Angeles, meeting UFOs hiding in plain sight as their mystery gets stranger by the day. Meanwhile, the shapeshifter remains at large, hunting down the other detectives of Central Station. Book 2 is penned by Mr. Tony James, a writer of sorts, a lover of old noir and science fiction. Returning with vigor are his three able-bodied artists, aces in their own field, much like our detective. And hot diggity dog, get a load of our new rewards. Many of them are exclusive to this very Kickstarter. Be sure to peruse the add-ons as well. Commemorate your purchase with these additional items. Don't be a fuddy-duddy. Back Star Noir today. It's the only way to defeat the communists.
I love how much fun you have with those, for real. Yeah. I look at Kickstarters all the time, and that one is so genuine. That has to be so much fun to just kind of just step back and do like the old radio broadcaster style approach. I love it, man.
Doing that voice is pretty exhausting. Because when I'm doing it, I'm moving my hands around a lot, so I'm trying to get specific inflections, and I was in a full sweat while I was recording that.
So let's go ahead and take a look at this cover.
Yeah.
So very, very gorgeous cover.
This is inspired by the movie poster, the Maltese Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's one of the it's a classic movie poster, and we were trying to do like a nod to that. Every cover that we're gonna do for the series is gonna be a nod to an old 1940s noir.
Very beautiful. And of course, if you guys are new to Star Noir, you could read the first 9 pages of book 1 for free just by clicking this link. So hit that Kickstarter link, share it, and then come read some pages for free. Let's go ahead and look.
Yeah, you can read the first 9 pages of the first book, which gives you a really good sense of the story and the art. So yeah, it's a good preview.
Let's go ahead and check out some of the previews as well.
Yeah, this is Ray Foster. This is the opening of the book. He is investigating Roger Mackey's home. If you remember from the first book, Alan sends him there to investigate the he was the registered owner for the Starlight that was left on the bridge. And then when Ray shows up there, he has an alien encounter of his own. Doesn't go so great.
These interiors are just gorgeous. I mean, his reflection in the the wheel cap right here.
Yeah.
And then this is ominous too. Like, I just love how these panels are set up. Like, holy crap. Another gorgeous shot right here. Oh my goodness, the club is beautiful.
Yeah, this was a part of the club was inspired by the I think it's called the Blue Velvet Room in LA Noir. It's it's like the popular one that the characters go to. We took some inspiration for the club design from that. And then mixed it in with some more kind of like Asian elements to kind of fit the Dragon Room name.
So without spoiling anything, give us a little bit about our new character.
This is Stella Belafonte. She's a famous club singer in Los Angeles. And well, I don't want to spoil it, but she has a very big secret, which is revealed in book 2. You do get to see it. Yeah, and it really is the final piece that takes Alan from being cynical about aliens being real to really having to take it seriously in order to find this shapeshifter who is killing his friends.
And holy crap, the details in the dress, the gloves, I love like the musical notes, like the way they have a purpose and the way they like surround each member in the bubbles and piano. I mean, even the trumpet, like, this is gorgeous. This lettering and these symbols are just awesome, man.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, writing lyrics is actually a lot harder than scene work, believe it or not. Because I can definitely write a couple of great scenes, but then when it came to song lyrics, it's what's the tempo of it, what's the cadence, and just trying to repeat certain amount of syllables, and what's a good rhyme that goes with this. And there had to have been like 5-6 versions of this song before we landed on something that we actually put into the book.
So does the song like tie into the story at all, or is it kind of okay?
It's thematically relevant.
That's awesome. I love it. And it's awesome getting the behind the scenes look at it too. I mean, just hearing that you actually created this song to fit the tempo, it ties in. Like, I love the little Easter eggs like that. Here is another interesting scene with a ball bat.
Yep. This is this character that's getting the bat pointed at him. This is Louis Simpson. He is a private detective, and Alan needs information from him because Louis is been hired by Mrs. Perkins, the late Patrick Perkins, because Mrs. Perkins believes that somebody from the precinct killed her husband, so she feels like she can't trust the LAPD. But Alan is a man on a mission, and he will get the information that he needs, no matter what. And it's part of the reason that Louis is a little bloodied up in this. There's an altercation that happens in the same scene.
And the perspective views with the angles with the pinstriping on the suit, like, holy crap, your creative team just knocked it out of the park. Like, this is because this can't be like, I mean, doing angles and sequential art like this, is challenging in one, but to do like a pin suit has to be hard, you know what I mean, to make it look fleshed and realistic like this. I just, this attention to detail is like awesome.
Yeah, Pablo and Vinicius they're so detail oriented. I sometimes have like simpler ideas for like how panels would go about, and they really just go for it. They really want to put as much detail and dynamicness into the layouts. So I'm always blown away when they show me new pages.
And then this scene is so awesome too. So we have a whole entire car getting sucked into the ship, and we of course have like the frost emitting, the coldness, and just that in itself is awesome. And it looks like there's a little bit of zero gravity happening in this.
Yeah. As he's getting lifted, the gravity is shifting in his car. That's a really really cool scene, really tense scene. I think it rivals the initial encounter that Alan has with Ellis in his backyard.
And then right here is a little bit from book 1. Like I said, it does get a little bit graphic and gory, and I think it's just like the perfect amount, to keep you intrigued and then keep you kind of wondering like what is causing this like monstrosity right here. This is horrifying.
Yeah. Well, we get into all of that.
And this guy is just brutal looking too.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. We're going to check out some of these rewards, some of the tiers up here, guys. And once again, check out that pre-launch. Share it wherever you can. Facebook, Twitter. Word of mouth costs you nothing, and it's going live tomorrow. What time are you expecting on launching?
11 a.m. Eastern. 11 a.m. Eastern.
So $10, you can get a thank you, your name in the thank you section to support the book. We have the 52 perfect bound book being shipped out to you for $25. So an awesome price for the physical edition. The White Shoe Slaying at $45, so you get book 1 and book 2. That's 90 pages of story for just $45.
Yep.
We have the Silk Stocking Murder at $46, so 2 4x6 postcards. So let me go ahead. We're gonna scroll down there to get a larger look at them.
Yeah, there you go.
So right there, the abduction, and then
Stella.
What's her name again? Stella. You had fun with that name too, didn't you?
Yeah, Stella Belafonte. It's just fun to say.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
And then right here's the cover poster as well. That is very gorgeous. So who did the cover?
This art Pablo, the same artist, same art team throughout.
And then we have a vintage 6x9 sexy pinup of the Naked City at $65, and it's going to include everything from the previous tiers except the White Shoe Slaying. So awesome price for that. The 11x17 color poster of book 2's cover for $90.
Yep. And then we're going to do a special black and white version with a limited number of those.
Awesome, man. Let's get a little bit larger look at some of these rewards too.
And I just want to also note that when it launches tomorrow for the first 24 hours, you can actually get either the second book or the 2 books, those 2 tiers for $5 off. So you can save a little money if you're there day 1.
And then some add-ons as well.
But yeah, I love the pinup. I really love how that came out. Very 1940s. It's very much in line with the types of pinups you would see back then.
With the lipsticks, I love the little lipstick print too.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That is awesome. So, and then we have some stretch goals too. So, guys, once you help this campaign hit 13,000, the first one is going to be revealed.
Yep. We got some really exciting ones for those as well. I can't wait to show those off.
So you know the drill. After going through the Kickstarter in its entirety, thank you again for the exclusive look. Anyone who might be on the fence tomorrow, what would you say to them to kind of help push them over that hump to get them to back the book?
Well, I mean, you have it's the second book, so you're coming into something that's already on the move. You can also read the first 9 pages, which I think is huge. I think that's a very sizable preview to get a good sense of the art and the story. And yeah, if you love something like LA Noir, if you love old Hollywood, if you like the X-Files, if you like creepy alien encounters that feel very grounded and to have a constant sense of believability to them, you will definitely love this book. There's no doubt in my mind that you won't have a good time and be fully immersed. That's actually, immersion is kind of the word that keeps coming up when people keep telling me about how much they like the book. They feel very immersed in this, which is really, really the goal. Will Eisner has this great line where he says, once the reader's imagination has been seized, it can't be allowed to escape. and we really take that to heart and infuse that from the script all the way through the art.
Yeah, and I mean, I read this in one sitting. You're right. It was very, the book one was very captivating, and I wanted to see how it ended. And before we were mentioning, I had the chance to read the preview. So when I actually got to read the full book, I got to see all the new additions, how they tied in, how it led to the other one, and it was a fun ride. And 9 pages, that's pretty much half of a normal sized comic. I mean.
Yeah,
so and you can read that for free just by checking out that Kickstarter and share it while you're there. So Tony, for anyone out there who is looking to script write their own story and they're just having trouble, really nailing their vision, maybe they're just struggling with being descriptive, maybe they're struggling just getting the words out, what would be your piece of advice to kind of help them, work through that?
Try again. Writing is rewriting. It is unlikely that you're going to come out with the next big hit on the first draft. And the best thing you can do for yourself in those early drafts is be very nice to yourself. Don't be overly critical, because where the script goes from good to great is in the revisions. If you saw the first draft of Star Noir, you would go, this is not working at all. But 7 drafts later, we have the one that you're looking at right now. So it doesn't happen overnight. So you really just don't try to be overly critical, especially in the early going, because writing is revising. That's what it is.
And I mean, 40 plus pages, that probably was a nice chunk of time you spent just coming up with draft after draft. Yeah, for sure. There was just, and then not only in the actual, writing the draft, but when we're actually making the pages, like those go through some big revisions as well. Just when, if like the alien encounter, there were a couple of ways that we were trying to convey alien technology in a very believable way, and that that took a couple of rough trial and error. This works. This also kind of works, and then we finally nailed the final vision at the end. Speaking of the 1940s, I wonder what alien technology looked like in their version of the 1940s. Like if the alien ships had the vintage fins on the back of them or something
Maybe it's possible. I try to keep the to fit with the 1940s era. I try to keep a little bit of a classical interpretation of aliens that would fit with what would be believable at the time for aliens.
So outside of, creating, let's talk about what you're consuming, what TV shows, movies you're watching, video games. I know we're both pretty big gamers ourselves. So what games are you playing lately? What have you been up to?
Right now, when I am not working on Star Noir, I am playing a lot of Starfield.
I heard it was really good.
Yeah. I never played Skyrim. Fallout did not really interest me. But yeah, Starfield it's a really kind of incredible. I mean, I get amazed at how varied the missions are. I feel like I'm not doing the same thing twice. And I've been playing it. I think I'm almost 20 hours in, and I feel like nothing's been repetitive. If you want to do a slow dialogue-based diplomatic type of mission, you've got that. If you're okay, cool, I want to shoot some stuff, you can go find a base and collect loot, and you can get a new ship, and then go right back to doing some other diplomatic thing that's just a talk-based mission. So I just love how varied it is. I mean, it seems very well thought out. There are systems on systems on systems. So yeah. And I know that those Bethesda games are known for having a level of jank to them, but I am actually kind of charmed whenever that happens, when a character doesn't look at you, or your character dies and he ragdoll physics into the air. It's I don't know, that stuff is pretty funny to me. So yeah, I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah, I've been playing what is it, Jedi Survivor. Having a lot of fun with that. And Octopath Traveler. I don't know, something about RPGs on a Switch, just being able to sit back on the couch and kind of just grind it out. I just love it. I'm fixated to it. Yeah. I need to play the second one whenever it drops. But outside of comics, you also have a YouTube channel. Do you want to go ahead and give it a shout out?
Yeah, it's called The Writest, WRITEST. So the short of it is, I do story structure breakdowns on video games. I take something like The Last of Us or Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto 4, and I focus on a scene or a mission and kind of break down the story structure behind it. One of the big ones that we have has about 48,000 views right now is discussing the Joel's death in The Last of Us 2, and really just drilling down into like what's the objective reason that someone would have an issue with this scene, not getting lost into sort of subjective feelings about it, just kind of being very analytical and just focusing on this is what the scene does, and I think this is why some people have an issue with it.
You know, since last time you've been on as well, HBO came out with a whole series on The Last of Us, so you get a chance to watch it?
I did. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good too.
Yeah, I wasn't like over the moon about it, but I thought it was a very good adaptation. I did another video about the HBO show, and it was really just discussing about the nature of adaptation and how it kind of seems like, it kind of seems easy to just copy the source material. But the problem with that is that you kind of rob the adaptation of its own identity, and its own identity is what's going to carry it for several years to come. You look at something like the Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. That if you were to take that and copy that back into a comic book, that's not a very good Batman, because that version of Batman is a great cinematic Batman. So there's just got to be, the video talks about is just finding the right balance between just kind of recreating what the source material does, but also taking enough risk to kind of have its own unique identity. And I think the Henry and Sam that they have in the TV show, or the extra stuff they do with Bill, I think those are the strongest episodes because
absolutely
because it's when the show has its own identity, and you don't have to know anything about the video game to get something out of those episodes.
You know, maybe I'll catch flack for this. My only gripe with the Bill scene was I do not think Bill would have been shooting out in the open with. I believe he would have been behind cover. That was it. Him shooting just like, out there, not shielded or anything. I was like, I don't think he would do that. But everything else, like, it was so good, and they were able to build up so much raw emotion by breaking away from the source material, doing their own thing, and it really added to just the series as a whole. And I think they did a good job with the casting as well. I mean, I can't wait for the second series or season. I think that's already been announced. That bloater scene was nice. I was really hoping we were going to get a bloater, and when we did, it was terrifying.
Yeah, that whole scene when they're running away from the horde was crazy, and the Ellie kind of getting cornered by the little kid that was the zombie,
which would be terrifying, by the way. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was insane.
And then the kill scene where they grabbed the face and ripped it apart. I was like, dude, let's go.
That's straight up. That's a death scene straight out of the video game.
Yeah,
they do that exact death scene. So yeah, I was overall pretty entertained by the series. I just thought as far as adaptation goes, I felt it could have stepped more into trying to be more original, just kind of take the source material and try to do more of its own thing. Because, like I said, the episodes that I mentioned with Bill and Henry and Sam, where it did do that, I think that those were the strongest episodes of the season.
Absolutely. Well, it is time for us to start wrapping up, guys. Right there is the pre-launch link. Be sure to hit it, sign up so you can be alerted for those early bird specials, and share it wherever you can, because word of mouth costs you nothing to do. Hope you all have a fantastic Monday. Tony, thank you so much for joining us. Most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.